in the poll broadcast is, of course, projected to what's happened tomorrow. Let's open this up straight across to all our correspondents. We are being joined by an expert panel of esteemed guests. We are getting you all the breaking news. We are getting you all the stories and developments and the analysis. This is your one-stop shop. Let me open this up to my correspondents. Atish Srivastav is through with us. Atish, you've been tracking two key developments. Atish. One, of course, is the fact on this Gujarat CM, the next Gujarat CM. The second, of course, is the fact of what's happening within the BJP in these permutations and combinations. I'm going to come straight to you, so hold your thought. First of all, I want to go across to Pratyush. He's got some numbers and analysis for us that's going to set up the debate over the next 45 minutes. Pratyush, take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Rishabh. What we're going to play out for you right now are certain scenarios that sophologists have come up based on the poll projections that we're going to put up. Now, first of all, just take a look. We're talking about the first scenario. Now, this is the, now many poll projections call this the unlikely scenario where NDA comes up with below 250. Who are the prospective allies? Of course, J. Jayalalitha of the AIADMK remains one. Remember, the BJP has made overtures. J. Jayalalitha is holding her cards close to her chest. What she would want in return for these numbers that she would give, 27 is the projected number that she will get, is of course support on the Mulla Periyar issue, special package for Tamil Nadu, ministers in central ministries, should she, of course, be a part of the government. But this is one scenario. Of course, let's talk about the other person that can really join in on this scenario, and that's, and so that we complete this one. There's, of course, Jaya with the 27 seats that we have been talking about, Rishabh, but there are other prospective allies. We'll come to that in just a moment. Back to you.
Very interesting, because Pratyush, what you're actually doing there is examining two scenarios. Our producer should have played out the graphic to the full extent. I'm going to ask them to put it on the screen so you can see the complete thing. The two scenarios are like this. If the NDA gets slightly less than 272 is the magic mark. If they get slightly less than 250, who do they need? Perhaps it's Jaya, perhaps it's Jagan. The other scenario is if they get less than 220, then they need to add to that pie. Perhaps you need a KCR in Telangana to add to Jagan in Simandra. Perhaps you need Naveen Patnaik's Biju Janata Dal from Odisha to throw in about 10, 11 as is being projected to form up to that formulation of what happens to get 272. The other, of course, two formulations are what happens to the Congress party? What if they get more than 140? What if they get more than 180? It's all possible. We are examining that in just a little bit. But I'm going to ask Pratyush to help us examine this in detail. Pratyush, pick on that second issue there on the 220 seat formulation. Who all will, in the end, Narendra Modi have to pick together to make that 270 mark in case he falls short just a little bit?
Well, Rishabh, that does open up, floor for speculation. As you're pointing out, the first scenario, of course, Jagan and Jaya. But now, if they don't only fall below 250, but they reach somewhere, near 220 also. Now, this is one scenario, of course, that we have examined before. Jaya with a 27, Jagan with a 14. Half a mark, of course, the 272 number, and that is the magic mark for which you would perhaps require some help. But what if the UPA is somewhere more than 160? Now, that is also a tantalizing prospect. Plus, you're jumping here. We're going on to another scenario that we'll discuss. Now, this one, of course, the UPA, Rishabh, the one that you also hinted at, if that manages somewhere above 160, prospect, of course, Mayawati with her 8. What would she want? She would want every help from the government. She would want key ministries. She would also want, in fact, to keep Mulayam out. Now, remember, both these prospects really, they are very interesting. They open up the floor. There are a lot of permutation combinations that can go on. Now, this is scenario 2 that we had perhaps skipped in between, but coming back to it is the NDA, and the NDA getting less than 220. Now, that, of course, creates more trouble for the BJP, doesn't it? Then perhaps you require others in the mix. You require Jaya with 27, you require Jagan's 14, you require to bring on KCR, perhaps Naveen Patnaik of the BJD. Now remember, at least two of these players, perhaps J. Jayalalitha and Naveen Patnaik, have so far held their cards very close to their chest. They're all waiting for the results. They're waiting to see which way they will have to go. Now, coming back to the first scenario, of course, J. Jayalalitha 27, Jagan with 14. Now, Rishabh, what all this really does is that it opens scope for some amount of bargaining. Now, remember, many of these poll projections are putting these numbers that we're really talking about. Now, coming back to the first scenario, of course, this is something that the India could perhaps live with. Both J. Jayalalitha, they have sent overtures already, Rishabh. And Jagan, of course, now he remains a bit doubtful. The BJP has been making all the polite noises about their doors being open, but perhaps it's only open for select few, Rishabh.
Okay, very interesting, Pratyush Dubey, for breaking down those numbers for us, because I'm going to ask again our producers to pull them up on our screen. Let's have a look at the first scenario. The first scenario deals with that combination of can you get Jaya and Jagan on board. Now the projections for Jaya Lalita and Jagan Mohan Reddy as per our exit poll is 27 for Jaya. That's pretty decent. There were 39 plus 1 if you add Puducherry in Tamil Nadu available to her. For Jagan, we are predicting anywhere between 11 and 14, which is very decent from the 25 in Simandra. So not so good for Chandrababu Naidu within the NDA. The problem now is, can you keep Naidu and Jagan in the NDA fold together? That's going to be really difficult. Very unlikely that Jagan Mohan Reddy will be acceptable to that. The other option for him, of course, is to decide that he could support the NDA from outside. Remember, Jagan Mohan Reddy has said all options are on the table. Now let's have a look at the third scenario on the UPA front. Now that we discussed the NDA, let's have a third scenario on the third front. Pratyush, you're going to help me break this down, because it's very difficult, mathematically possible, but a lot of contradictions come up in this scenario. If you're going to pull up that graphic of the third scenario, have a look at the contradictions. The first contradiction is you need both Mayawati and you need Mulayam. So either you put Mayawati within the government and keep Mulayam with support from the outside. It's been done in 2004 when the Congress got about 144 seats. The other contradiction is you're going to need both Mamta as well as the left. How do you do that? The left, remember, said the cat amongst the pigeons about 2 weeks ago when A.B. Bardhan came out and said that they would even go ally with Mamta if it meant to keep Narendra Modi out. But is it possible? Again, the contradiction can be resolved that you put Mamta within government and keep the left outside government. So that's a very interesting scenario as well. You know, Pratyush, help us break it down. Have a look at the number of people will be required and the contradictions in the third scenario if the UPA gets about 160 or slightly more than 160, Pratyush.
You know, this is something that we've been alluding to even in the past. Remember, now this scenario really, it throws up tantalizing options. Now this is your third scenario. This is the scenario where UPA gets somewhere more than 160. Now what all do they really need? As you know, you were pointing out, of course you need Maya's 8, but along with Maya you'd need others. Now you'd need Mulayam, you'd need the left perhaps, you'd also perhaps need Mamata to then perhaps try and bring up a credible opposition, a number that could really go up towards the NDA's tally, which in this case would be somewhere between 200 220. Now these are really the names that they would like to bring on board. There's of course Mayawati, there's Mulayam Singh, there is Mamata, there is left, where you need some support, perhaps from the outside. There's of course Jaya Lalita, but who has so far kept her cards very close to her chest. She hasn't revealed much. Of course the AIDMK keeps talking about a historic friendship between them and the NDA. There's Nitish, then there's KCR, then they require the 12. Then where that 12 comes from, of course, independent candidates. There are others that may or may not come, or may not join in fact the UPA bandwagon.
Okay, you know, Pratyush, we're going to leave this nerve center now that we really set up this discussion in this past 6 minutes. You've got the various permutations and combinations. This is key, ladies and gentlemen, because all these players will be in the thick of things in the next 24 hours as soon as the numbers come out. Shahid Siddiqui, senior journalist, now joining me live on this broadcast. We're going to go across to our correspondents. Uday Sai is going to analyze and do some number crunching for us here in the studio. We're also going across to our correspondent Shri Kumar joining us live from Chennai. What is Jaya Lalita planning and thinking? Kumar Shakti Shekhar and Molly also joining us. Let me go across to Shahid Siddiqui. Shahid Siddiqui, we were discussing this last evening. Lots of permutations and combinations still on the table. How crucial is it, Shahid Siddiqui, for Narendra Modi and the BJP to keep these lines of communication open this morning and through tomorrow?
Lines of communication are to be kept open as pragmatic political entities, not because of the scenarios you are presenting, because you can present another scenario where you can say that the UPA gets 200 plus or UPA gets 272. So, I mean, as many scenarios as you want. But you have to go with the reality, you have to go, the job of an analyst is to go with what is possible and what looks practical and what looks real. Not just opinion and exit polls, but even otherwise what we have been saying for the last 6 months is that the UPA is going to lose a lot of seats and NDA is now going to come up. BJP is going to do very well, especially in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, and Haryana, Delhi, this North India belt, they are going to sweep. This is not based on exit polls and opinion polls. This is based on our understanding of the ground realities and the political movements and undercurrents which have been there for the last year or two. But coming to your question, it is of course absolutely essential for BJP to open all the lines because, number one, they are still not sure of the majority. Number two, even if they get a majority in Lok Sabha, they will require help constantly on every issue in the Rajya Sabha because they cannot have a working majority in the near future.
Okay.
Thirdly, they have to take all other parties along. If Modi wants to really do in next 3 months what he has been planning to do.
Shahid Siddiqui, I'm going to pick exactly on that point.
There will be no honeymoon. It will be, starting, yes.
I'm going to pick exactly on the point. Uday Sai, that's the larger issue, isn't it? Even if you're expecting to form the government at this stage, the second concern is, let's not what happened to the UP happen to us. So you want to build a cushion. You want to build a cushion in the Lok Sabha so that when it comes to those crucial reforms, you have some amenable candidates along with you, even if they are supporting you from outside, like Mayawati and Mulayam were doing for the UPA. You also want to build up an alliance that delivers numbers in the Rajya Sabha, remember, which also becomes crucial and was a major problem for the UPA government. So how important is it that to go well past that 272 mark and just get enough to form the government?
Well, I feel that there is a RSS survey done, which was subsequently denied by them, by Mr. Rajnath Singh. And that survey clearly didn't give as much number to the party as other exit polls have really predicted. And going by that, it is quite evident that the first meeting that they had, there was some kind of a churning and internal discussion as to what about the possible alliances which may be required tomorrow in case the magic number doesn't come as predicted by the exit poll.
Yeah, okay.
So that's how they are keeping the option open. On the other hand, the parties concerned across these states are also keeping their cards close to their chest because they realize that eventually it's going to be post-16th.
Mr. Sai, hold your thought. I want to point out to our viewers this breaking news flashing at the bottom of the screen. Narendra Modi is going to hold a rally in Ahmedabad on Saturday, we are being told. A massive roadshow in Delhi, Ahmedabad, and on Friday, I'm being told, in a massive roadshow on the 17th. Already planning victory laps, even as we're examining the various permutations and combinations and also what can go wrong. Let me go on the ground and find out what's happening. Shri Kumar in Chennai. First, I'm coming to you. Yesterday, in the morning, M. Mulayaswamy, a leader of the AIADMK, was sitting right here with me when he said something very interesting and very explosive in the terms of these allies combination. He said that the AIADMK would be willing to back Narendra Modi at the center, justifying it, saying it's for the sake of Tamil Nadu. Jayalalitha then spoke in the evening. She said nothing certain yet. What are your sources inside telling you right now this morning?
Yes, Rishabh, it's very certain that Jayalalitha will extend support to the NDA because she has hinted out that on Sundays her press release, press statement on the Mullai Periyar Dam issue, and she was clearly saying that the next government will be formed in the center with the support of AIADMK, and we will play the crucial role, and that time we will ask the center to increase the water level from whatever the level the dam.
What I understand, Kumar Shakti Shekhar, if you're with me, is that the entire government formation machinery has also already begun with the BJP. But what are the sticking points? What are the sticking points? What are the concern areas? Is it just the seniority leaders, the senior leaders for Narendra Modi to mollify them, but not keep two power centers in government? How do you resolve that dilemma if you're within the BJP, Kumar?
Yeah, in fact, there are 2-3 issues. The first is whether the BJP will get the majority on its own, or it will get majority along with the other NDA partners. If not, what would be the post-poll alliances? Who will come along with the BJP? Will Naveen Patnaik or Jayalalitha or Mamata Banerjee or Mayawati? So the BJP is exploring all options, and the backdoor negotiations, back-channel negotiations, they are on. Then as far as internal matters are concerned, In fact, the RSS has asked the BJP to form a Margdarshak Mandal, which would comprise senior leaders of the BJP who have crossed the age of 75 or so. They will include leaders like L.K. Advani or Murli Manohar Joshi, even Venkaiah Naidu, and they would be like the guiding team of the BJP. They would be guiding the BJP on all its actions, on all, the BJP government, in fact, the NDA government. So this Margdarshak Mandal is one issue. Then there are issues related like what role should Sushma Swaraj get, or even L.K. Advani get, if not Margdarshak Mandal, whether Sushma Swaraj or L.K. Advani should be made the speaker in the Lok Sabha. So these are some ticklish issues, or even Murli Manohar Joshi, should he be included in the government or not?
Yeah,
although they want some government role, but it is being said that
it's all up for grabs. It's all up for grabs. That's the bottom line. It's all up for grabs. And now the difficult part is, how do you walk the fine balance? The fine balance between respecting the seniority of several of these leaders who've been in the BJP way long before Narendra Modi and his close team. Rahul Gandhi had the same problem when he took over the campaign leadership of his party between the old guard and his new guard. Now the second problem, of course, depends on what happens when you need allies in government. Shahid Siddiqui, this has been a bit of an issue for quite some time. What's the resolution? Do you have an independent body for the senior leaders? Do you include them in cabinet? Do you find alternate posts for them? What's the likely way out?
Look, Rishabh, it will all depend on how many seats BJP gets on its own, how many seats NDA gets. If they get a clear majority, or even BJP gets a 240, 250 plus, then it won't be very difficult for Narendra Modi to manage the seniors and other rivals in the party. But if BJP is short of 40, 50, they are somewhere around 220, which seems to be the case. What we have been, before the exit polls came, that was our belief that BJP is going to be somewhere around 210, 220, and NDA will be stop somewhere around 250. So it all depends on the arithmetic. But it will not be very difficult for Narendra Modi. There may be some murmuring in the beginning, some sour faces and all, but they will be able to take care of, RSS will be able to take care of, and these people are very senior people. They are pragmatic people, whether it's Mr. Modi or it's Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi or Sushma Swaraj. They are very old, pragmatic, experienced people. They have adjusted in the past. Advani ji has been adjusting all his life for the second position. Now he will have the elevated first position, which is a Margdarshak, which will be elevated retirement plan.
What I'm going to do, sir, I've got Atish Srivastava with us. He's been speaking to his sources within the BJP. Atish, do two things for us. Firstly, Setup, tell us what's happening this morning. What's all the charcha really going on within the BJP this morning? And second thing, Setup, what's going to happen through the day, Atish?
Well, it's an important day because today they have to finalize what exactly happens to the senior leaders like Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi and especially L.K. Advani. What kind of role do they actually foresee these two senior leaders taking care of if at all BJP is voted to power? There are reports doing the round that L.K. Advani probably would be elevated as the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. It is a constitutional post that would be able to adjust the senior really well. And apart from that, what happens to Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi? Will he be inducted in the cabinet? Will he be given the top 4 cabinet posts? Will he be there as a CCS member also? These are things which are still being decided upon. There was a very important meeting which took place in Gandhinagar yesterday between Narendra Modi, Arun Jaitley, Rajnath Singh and Nitin Gadkari. These are things they need to sort out. There were rounds of meeting yesterday with Sushma Swaraj. Sushma Swaraj also categorically said that decision has to be unanimous and respectability should be given to everyone.
Atish, I'm going to come and pick up on what's going to happen for the rest of the evening, but we pretty much set up the debate of what's happening last evening and for this morning's Uday Sai. Let's pick on this just a little bit before I go back to those scenarios that we're discussing. It's a tricky one. Rahul had the same issue and the same rebellious note with the old guard in his own party. How do you resolve it? Is a solution lying within government by giving away prime posts, or is it lying without government and then creating the danger of creating a second power center? Uday Sai.
I personally feel that there won't be much of an issue on that, because as it is, they are foreseeing a situation of this kind, and that's how this Margdarshak Mandal has been formed, which will act like a guiding force. So you give proactive work to them to shape the party, to mentor the party, to bring possible alliances on board, etc. So unless you see the leaders sitting idle, then only you have problems. But I think they will have a lot of roles for them within the government and outside the government, and depending on what negotiation eventually they have, informally things would be settled.
Okay, Ajit Sai joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Sai, help us break down the analysis of the contradictions that we've been doing. The contradictions both for the NDA that might develop as well as for the UP in the event it does better than we're predicting, and perhaps like you were pointing out last evening that the exit polls generally underplay how much the UPA generally gets. First, the contradictions within the NDA. If you reach a stage where you need perhaps Jaya Lalita or perhaps you need Jagan Reddy to support you out, help you out and form the government, how do you solve the contradictions with people like Chandrababu Naidu?
Good morning first of all. If you use, let us say, a bar chart, so the correlation between Mr. Modi's maneuverability and elbow space is in direct proportion to the number of seats that he will bring for the NDA. So if the NDA gets 290 seats, if this is the NDA at 290 seats, then this is Mr. Modi's power. But if this is the NDA at 250, Mr. Modi's power is this, lower than that. So what will happen is, ultimately it is tomorrow that we will get to know what is the final tally for NDA, what is the final tally for the other groupings. Of course, if Mr. Modi gets 280, 290, or as Amit Shah has been claiming more than 300 seats, then he certainly does not need any Jayalalitha, he does not need anybody else. So really what will matter tomorrow is the actual numbers that you get and who gets how many. If you remember in 2009, Mayawati was, the BSP of Mayawati was being touted as likely to win 30, 35, 40 seats. Eventually, she ended up at 20 and she ended up playing virtually no role for at least the first 3 to 4 years. In fact, the entire duration of the UPA2, all she did was buy some peace for herself by supporting it from outside after Mamata Banerjee's withdrawal.
You know, Mrs. I just hold your thought. I want to play out some reactions, very interesting reactions from all the top players from the regional areas of India. Naveen Patnaik in Odisha, Jaya Lalita in Tamil Nadu. Let's listen to the reactions. I've also got our correspondents on the ground. I'm going to go to them, but let's listen in.
Let us wait for the results to be declared and then I will give you my comments.
In this regard, only Naveen Patnaik will negotiate, will discuss, then he will come back, he will place the fact before the party leaders and a decision will be taken.
See, our party stand is open. Before polling also, before polls also, we said our party's line is very clear. We are with open mind, basing on the post-poll situation and whomsoever helps our state for the development of our state.
Okay, you heard the reactions. Atish, get us some insight into what's going on. Who are the likely prospects? Jaya Lalita seems to be one, Jagan seems to perhaps be another, Naveen Patnaik is a third hat in the ring. Who are the first targets for the BJP in case it falls just short?
Well, Rishabh, if they do fall short, probably first target would be, depending on the numbers Jagan Mohan Reddy gets in Simandra, because they have a current tie-up with TDP. Would they like to break it up and go to Simandra with YSRCP? This is something which BJP needs to take a call immediately with the numbers, and then probably the best choice would be Jayalalitha, and they will have to approach her. There are feelers coming in from AIDMK. AIDMK Chief Supremo Jayalalitha also nourishes their ambition of being the Prime Minister. If she does not get those many seats and there is no any chance of forming a third front, then she can also cozy up to BJP, and we know that she does not really have that kind of animosity with BJP leaders. They did share dice earlier as well, but during election it was Jayalalitha versus Narendra Modi. But it can change, the scenarios can change, and as far as BJP is concerned, they realize to get better deal for Orissa from centre, they need to be with the centre government. They've been out of centre government for almost 10 years now, and they realize it really well that they've been friends before. BJD and BJP have worked in coordination earlier as well, so there will not be a surprise if they do come again together.
Okay.
But it all depends how many numbers will NDA get, because BJP is very, very open. They've said we are ready to accommodate any party to strengthen NDA.
Okay. Uday Sai, I want to pick on some contradictions now. I was discussing this with you just a few minutes ago. How do you If you are the UPA and you still, hope for the best tomorrow, you do slightly better because the last time both the exit polls in 2004 and 2009 got it wrong by a large margin of error, and the UPA did much better. If you get slightly better than what we're predicting, if you're in a shouting distance of the government, how do you resolve the contradictions within all these allies? How do you stitch together such a broad coalition? Is it possible? Is it worth it in the interest of stability, or you just let the BJP figure it out?
Well, I mean, all this is a matter of a conjecture at this stage. But what can possibly happen is that the leadership of UPA, which seems to be quite clear at this moment, would certainly take proactive steps to bring people, the parties together and try to stitch out something. But the legitimacy, which is a crucial factor, is somewhat missing, because across the country there is a feeling that more than anything else, more than a lahar in favor of a party or the other, it is the anti-Congress wave which has led to the scenario that we see today.
Okay, legitimacy is missing, sir. Legitimacy is missing, sir. Shahid Siddiqui, legitimacy is missing?
Yeah. Can I come in? Yeah. Yes, and I want to make one point. Your correspondent said that they will have to, move away from TDP to have Jagan's support. I don't agree with that. I think Jagan would like to be in the good books of whichever government is formed at the center. So it won't be difficult for Jagan to come along, and then, elections are taking place in Andhra also, and there TDP and Jagan may have to come together to form the government. But even if that doesn't happen, Jagan would support, in spite of the fact that they have an alliance with TDP, Jagan would like to remain there. And secondly, Mayawati will be amenable. Mayawati would like to have good, even if they don't require her, she will support the government from outside, and in order to,
holding the events from Delhi and not from Gandhinagar.
Yes, that should have been the case, but since he is still the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he has to take care of the administration here, and he has been absentee Chief Minister for quite some time. And then he has also to see that a very smooth transition takes place, where his successor is, decided. So he has to play his role there before he comes and take over things in Delhi. And I think from tomorrow onwards, he will have to remain in Delhi and Varanasi, as you said, going to Varanasi. Mr. Kejriwal may be going there, but I think for a long time, it will be one of his very last visits to Varanasi. He is not a Varanasi politician.
All right. The tongue-in-cheek answer there, Shahid Siddiqui. Of course, there are two bits of telling. There are two bits of telling details coming from the information we're getting. One, that Narendra Modi is going to visit Varanasi. Does that mean, Ajit Shahi, does that mean that Varanasi is the choice and not Vadodara?
Well, I have been saying this on your show for quite some time. I think Mr. Modi will have absolutely no reason to choose Vadodara over Varanasi, unless, of course, what happened with Mr. Lal Krishna Advani in 1991. He stood from both Gandhinagar and the New Delhi constituency. And what happened in the New Delhi constituency, he lost to he defeated Rajesh Khanna by a mere 1,500 votes, and that was the day it was decided that Mr. Advani will stay in Gandhinagar. So I think the margin of victory in Varanasi will also have a bit of a role to play. But if the margin of victory is substantially good, it wouldn't matter about Vadodara. Obviously, Varanasi is placed to be in because UP is the heart of North Indian politics and therefore Indian politics. It is the largest state in India with the most seats, 80 seats. The next is a distant Maharashtra with 48 seats. Yeah. So obviously that is going to happen. I just want to make one more point I just want to make one more point about Mr. Modi not coming to Delhi. Well, I know Shahid Bhai has said this, but I disagree with him on this. Mr. Modi, I mean, come on, in the modern day and age, and he has been going back to Gandhinagar every single night that he has campaigned for the last several months. The fact is that had he been Delhi, all the TV channels and newspaper reporters would have had only one thing to say: is he meeting Advani? Is he not meeting Advani? Why is he not meeting Advani? Will Advani go to meet him? Why is Advani not going to meet him? And obviously, after a kill, a lion is known to go back to his den. Okay. He at least thinks he's a lion.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, Ram Madhav is reacting of the RSS. Let's quickly listen in.
खींचता नहीं, नरेंद्र मोदी को लेकर क्या खींचता नहीं है, वे क्या बात कर रहे हैं.
All right, all smiles, not saying much. Ram Madhav of the RSS over there. The RSS, of course, playing a substantial role in not only helping mediate between the old guard or so-called old guard of the BJP, but also telling them that the government formation business, if in the event the party gets the majority tomorrow, should finish up really quickly. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my colleague Pratyush Dubey. He's going to set up some numbers for us. And then we're going to go across one at a time, right across this country to all our correspondents. We're going to go to Kolkata, to Chennai, to Delhi, to Mumbai, to Bangalore, to Hyderabad, right across the country to examine what the regional power players, what role will they play in Delhi or are likely to play in Delhi come about tomorrow afternoon when the numbers come out. Pratyush, break up the scenarios one at a time for us this time so that we can examine them in detail. Pratyush.
Right, Rishabh. So, what we're going to do, we're going to pull up some numbers on our television screen right here. And when those numbers come up, we're going to go through these at least 3 different scenarios that we have come up. What's the phonologists are right now saying, experts with us. First scenario, of course, the NDA just little shy of the 270, little lower than 250 mark. They require one partner at least. Who could they be looking at? One prospect, of course, is J. Jayalalitha of the AIADMK with the 27 numbers that are expected to come in according to our poll projections. There's also Jagan. There's Jagan which is 14. But, Rishabh, contradictions here, of course. And those contradictions, I'm sure you'll discuss the fact whether the NDA can really afford to keep the TDP as well as the YSR in the same room at the same time. But another scenario where the NDA actually falls shorter, in fact, even less than 220. Now, this is another scenario that could come up, which would mean that they would have to have a host of other names that they need to look up to really shore up their numbers. There's Jaya, there's Jagan, but they'll also have to keep KCR, they'll also have to keep Naveen Patnaik's BJD with these numbers, KCR 07, Patnaik's 11 that's being projected to try and make up that deficit. We'll also take a very quick look at another scenario that we have come up with, which will be a third scenario on your screens right now. If the UPA, and we have spoken about the NDA, this is about the UPA, if the UPA gets more than 160, then what could it be looking at? Which numbers would it want to join it to perhaps pose a challenge? We have Maya, we have Mulayam, we have Mamata, we have Left, we have Jaya, Nitish and KCR. It's an unlikely coalition that could perhaps be brought together should the UPA bring about more than 160, but still they need 12 from the others.
Okay, very interesting, very interesting. Pratyush, it would be nicer if you taken the scenarios one at a time. We could have discussed them in detail. But I'm going to pick on the contradictions with you, Uday Sai. We were coming back to this again and again. There's a contradiction in trying to get Jagan in, which is the obvious one of Chandrababu Naidu. There's also a contradiction for the UPA. How do you cobble together an alliance in case you get slightly better? Is it worth it? Is it worth trying to get so many people together with so many contradictions in a government that probably just won't work even if it gets formed?
To my opinion, they would not try this out, primarily because of the fact that the legitimacy required is missing, number one. Number two, across the country there is a mood for change, and that is showing in the exit poll. The results should be out tomorrow. So, if you are talking about a situation which is likely to emerge, I feel no.
All right. What I'm going to do now is go to across all the power centers. Chennai, you've got Sri Kumar standing by. In Delhi, we've got Kumar Shakti. I'm getting Tamal joining us from Kolkata, hopefully in just about 30 seconds. Sri Kumar, let me come to you first. All right, let me come to Kumar Shakti Shekhar first. Kumar, help us examine the likelihoods. Is there a hope within the UPA or in the Congress quarters or corridors right now? Are they also crunching the numbers? Are they also making those phone calls like the BJP seems to be doing this morning?
In fact, UPA is confident that it would get more than 100 or even around 150 seats. And in that case, the UPA would try to cobble up numbers and support some third front if it cannot form government on its own. But it will try to block the NDA from forming any government. That is the first priority of the Congress. So meetings going on, back channel negotiations going on in this regard. Back to you, Rishabh.
All right. So there is still a glimmer of hope. That might not be convincing hope, but there's a glimmer of hope. Shahid Siddiqui, should the UPA at least be trying or is it in a sulk? Has it just given up right now?
No, they should wait and see how things work out, if they can work out their way, but it seems that the captain has abandoned the ship already. If the reports are correct that he is out of the country, then it seems that they are not really very seriously trying, because now the number 2, 3 leaders won't be effective. It has to be Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi who has to work the phones and try to get as many people as possible. And the scenario, if this scenario comes up of 140, 160, then BJP definitely is not getting 200 seats. In that case, there can of course be a third front government, and they will try to cobble it up in whatever way. Money will be spent, things will be done, a lot of things will be done behind the scenes. Everything will be used to form a government, and they will go to any extent to stop Narendra Modi, which they have been trying for last nearly
I'm being joined by Yatin Oza of the BJP. Yatin Oza, I want to come and pick a question with you. We have just broken some information that Mr. Narendra Modi will be travelling to Delhi. On Saturday for a road show, but he's first going to visit Varanasi. He's going to do a Ganga Aarti in Varanasi. Is it done, sir? Varanasi is going to be a seat, not Vadodara.
Looks like Mr. Rajnath Singh has also, in no uncertain terms, assured the people of Varanasi that in case of choice, he would retain Varanasi. And all these discussions which I was hearing, I joined little late, are very hypothetical and eventuality that is never going to happen. In the worst scenario, taking everything against us, take the situation worst ever to be imagined on objective lines, we are not going to be less than 260.
Okay.
Therefore, all this discussion is hypothetical.
Okay, no, accept it. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Sai. Ask him a question. I also want to put in Uday Sai to find out why Kejriwal is going to Varanasi. But first of all, Ajit Sai, go ahead.
Good morning. A very short question. This is Ajit Sahi. I hope for your sake, your party's and your coalition's sake, you are right that you get, in the worst case scenario, 260 seats, and I hope you get 300 seats or 350 seats. I just want to know, what is the basis? You use the word objective. What is the objective basis of your very categorical statement? You gave a figure of 260. What is the objective basis for that figure of 260?
Yatin Oza, get that answer.
Yeah, I'll give you an answer. This is 260 figure that I gave was in the worst scenario. Our calculation is not one seat less than 300.
Based on what? And my simple question is based on what?
In a hope that I am saying, this is based on in-depth study that we have undertaken and we undertook during the entire process of election. We have critically gone through and examined every seat, and we have found that worst scenario is 260. But everything goes right. Okay. It is not one seat less than 300.
All right. I'm being told, Mr. Oza, my apologies for interrupting you. I've been told I have to take a break, but quickly I want to get in Uday Sai. Uday Sai, Kejriwal going to Varanasi tomorrow. What's that for? Is it just symbolic?
No, it's not symbolic. Number one, he is going to once again thank his voters. Number two, he is a candidate, and you should know that the candidate's presence in a place from where he has fought is crucial. He'll have a team of 10 people sitting in the counting center, and these are hawks who would keep an eye if something is going wrong or things are being done in right manner. So it's not something which has come all of a sudden. It's natural.
All right. Interesting, gentlemen. There are quick developments, fast-paced developments happening right through this morning. I mean, very interesting that this alert has gone on. Is this just a routine process that should be followed by a government trying to take due care?
I think very, very unfortunately, the entire intelligence business in India is extremely dubious. It has no oversight. It has absolutely been proved to be very, very of doubtful integrity in the last several years. In many cases, I have personally, over the last 7 years, I have myself as a reporter, as an investigative reporter, I have traveled across India and I have found, and I have reported on this, it's been part of the debate, public discourse, that most of the alerts that are given out, most of the arrests that are made are eventually acquitted, not just because of lack of evidence, but actually because the courts find that the police frame these people. We've seen that happen day in and day out. So I am very, very reluctant to believe that these are, the intelligence. In fact, even in the West, although the intelligence agencies are notorious around the world, and we've seen that in the United States in the last 1 year, but even in the West, there is some oversight of the intelligence agencies. In India, there is absolutely no
Yatin Oza, Shahid Siddiqui, I'm coming to you.
It lives in a dark hole. It exists in a dark hole.
Okay, Priya Sehgal, help us measure this. Help us measure this, because many people are going to argue through this day, and this is going to be one of those stories that's going to be an explosive prime time driver. Many people are going to argue during the day that this is a motivated misuse of intelligence. Break this down with some sensitivity for us, Priya.
No, I was just going to add a statutory warning to what, this news is, that it could be also the government is playing safe. They've picked up sensitive areas where they may be, they're saying we're expecting trouble, but it could be the government trying to, issue a sensitized warning, or, trying to say that these are areas one should just be careful about. I mean, we maybe shouldn't overplay the warning also. It's just them issuing a kind of a statutory
thing. Statutory warning. Shahid Siddiqui, a statutory warning by the government of India, but the bottom line is that if there is a charged atmosphere in several areas in this country, in several very sensitive areas, that charged atmosphere has been created by the vitriolic polarization politics conducted by all the parties over the past 2 months. Shahid Siddiqui.
It is unfortunate, and the situation today is that nobody, no community, no group, no political party wants violence, communal violence or any other violence. Indian elections have been very smooth. The whole world looks up to our democracy and our polls. But at the moment, what happens is that at the lower level, there are always antisocial elements who try to take advantage of any situation. And in this kind of situation, when the victory processions take place, one small incident anywhere leads to can lead to violence.
Okay, we are being careful. We are being careful. One second. We are being careful. I want to bring in Uday side.
Political leaders should also make an appeal to their own workers, that don't do this and don't take out victory processions the way normally they do.
Okay, so be careful. That's the advice by Shahid Siddiqui. Be careful, Yatin Oza. Be careful is the advice Shahid Siddiqui is saying. Be sensitive. That has been a very polarized campaign. Be sensitive. There has been a very charged atmosphere. But what your views, sir, your views, keeping statutory warnings in place, your views on this alert that has been put out by the MHA, Yatin Oza.
Well, I think
just let Mr. Oza take it.
I personally feel that to err on the safe side, such warnings have been issued. But at the same time, I agree with Shahid Siddiqui that one has to be very careful and watchful. And by way of comment and caution, even though it is with a view to sensitize the whole issue and to shift the burden, that if at all anything happens, whether there is any fear or not, let us issue the warning. It looks like such a warning is issued. But at the same time, every political party, every organization, every citizen must keep restraint.
I thank you.
And Mr. Modi's fundamental principle is development, and development can only be achieved if there is a communal harmony.
All right. I thank you for your sensitive words, but many people would have said they should have been shown during the campaign also. Once again, Uday, I had a quick point to make. Uday, quickly, I'm running out of time.
Well, I think it's a routine based on some intelligent homework, because if you look at the constituency law and order, planning, then you have very sensitive area, you have sensitive areas, and then followed by that a polarized situation, which is as it is there in these areas.
It's a routine thing, better to be safe than sorry. Nupur,
exactly.
Quick point.
What I'm trying to say, it's called intelligence for a reason. The fact is that you have preempted that there might be some such threat. That's why the country has gone in election, the Lok Sabha parliamentary election, not the states. The states are not suspending their work. The governments, they should actually be preempting this and be on guard for any such mishappening.
All right. We're carefully examining this, and I'd like to thank the panel for taking the sensitive nature of this story very carefully and not trying to politicize it at the first gusto, as we've seen during this entire election campaign. We leave it there because what we're doing over the next about 20 odd minutes is examining Delhi. The prospects of Delhi, seat by seat, seat by seat, right through this election campaign. We're predicting winners, or at least the trending winners. Pratyush Dubey, my colleague, he's got the first seat for us. Pratyush, surprise us.
Well, thank you, Rishabh. You know, it's never really been attempted before, but we have done it. We have managed to crunch some numbers. We have analyzed these trends, and we're going to bring to you what really is happening across these constituencies in the national capital. And first up, who is the winner in New Delhi constituency? We're going to bring up these names on your television screen. Now, the contest was a big ticket contest. Ajay Mark and Meenakshi Lekhi of the BJP, as well as Ashish Khaitan of the Aam Aadmi Party. And surprise, surprise, Rishabh, it is the Aam Aadmi Party with 37.20. Even the numbers below would indicate it's a close contest. We'll qualify that. It's a close contest, Rishabh, but going Ashish Khaitan's way.
That is surprising. That's a prediction, very interesting prediction. We seem to be predicting the Congress stalwart Ajay Markan not doing very well. This is an exit poll prediction, remember that. It's an exit poll prediction based on the trends, but it's been done seat by seat, constituency by constituency. And Meenakshi Lekhi, the BJP spokesperson, also not doing very well. Ashish Khaitan is the dark horse surprise winner from the Aam Aadmi Party. Before I take the BJP and Aam Aadmi Party reaction, I want to go to Molly Gambhir. She's there in the constituency. Molly, how are people reacting? What are the expectations for tomorrow morning?
Well, it is a surprise indeed. What seems to have happened is that the Modi wave has not really worked out quite well for Meenakshi Lekhi, something that was the only thing working in her favor really, since she did not have that sort of an experience that people look out for in their MP. On the other hand, of course, Ajay Markan, anti-incumbency, strongly weighing down his chances. Ashish Khaitan, the Aam Aadmi Party, in a way, their chances not looking very bright this time around. The 49-day figure, of course, the 49-day rule that they had, and they're giving up on that.
And that's playing across the rest of Delhi. Yeah, that's playing across the rest of Delhi. But interesting, very interesting. You know, we've done 3 exit polls, 3 different predictions. Let me pick on the first one, and I'm going to go to Uday Sai also. Uday Sai, a breath of relief that even if he doesn't win, Ashish Khaitan has done better than most people expected.
I don't think he has done better than everyone expected. He has, in fact, he could have done even better. But still he has an edge over others, primarily because of the fact that if you look at New Delhi constituency, the commonsensical perception is that it's a VIP area. But the voters base of that constituency is such that you have backwaters of all the VIP houses in the area. For example, I was staying in Chanakyapuri. In my house there were 4 members, and back home, I mean at the back side of my house, my servant had 6 members. So that's one chunk. Then Jhuggi Jhopdi segment in New Delhi constituency is also quite prominent. Number 3, we presume that everyone who is staying in New Delhi constituency, New Delhi 1, Latias Delhi, they are all senior IAS officers or MPs and ministers.
Okay. All right.
Forgetting the fact that you also have class 3, class 4 employees.
Sir, I want to give other people a chance. Shahid Siddiqui, you spend a lot of time in Delhi examining the politics of Delhi, which you claim is a microcosm for the rest of India. Priya Sehgal is also with us. Quick reaction from you, Nupur. Of course, you're going to disagree with these figures. You'll agree with the rest of the exit polls, but you'll disagree with this one.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Finally. Okay. So I'm a New Delhi resident, and I happen to work
Rishabh,
both in the Vidhan Sabha and in the Lok Sabha elections.
I'm not getting the questions clearly.
Okay, I'm just going to pass that, get that audio problem corrected. Please, let's fix that audio problem with Mr. Siddiqui.
Anyway,
Nupur, go ahead,
what
finish your
I have
thought.
gathered is you are asking me about Delhi.
I'm just coming to you, Shahid Bhai. I'm just coming to you. Nupur, finish your thought.
So, having worked in both the elections, I can actually clearly tell you that there is a difference in the voting pattern between the Delhi Vidhan Sabha and the Lok Sabha elections. You do your exit polls, we do our own exit polls by doing a survey of polling booth to booth when we actually drive around, walk around the areas. And certainly what the Aam Aadmi Party did in Vidhan Sabha election was CM Kejriwal, PM Modi. people haven't really forgotten that. In whatever Jan Sabhas and door-to-door I have done, people actually went out and voted for Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister. So my assessment of the area, at least in my Vidhan Sabha, says there was a clear victory for Narendra Modi ji.
Okay, it's a Modi wave even in Delhi. So again, this comes the contradiction in exit polls. You believe around for these elections.
See,
at this stage, let me finish my question. At this stage, why should these be meetings taking place if the RSS, like the BJP claims, has a very limited mentoring role on the politics? Why should these be meetings taking place? Haven't you thanked them enough?
Okay, so honestly, the RSS as a not-for-profit organization supports the BJP. It helps us, and obviously, to an extent, there's an ideological sort of common ground between the BJP and the RSS. Having said that, why the RSS is coming down to meet Rajnath Singh ji, or why Rajnath Singh ji is coming down to meet the RSS, one, as far as the RSS is concerned, you need to ask the official spokesperson, Mr. Ram Madhav ji, about that. From the BJP's perspective, I must say that as the national president, I'm sure there must be, we can't actually thank them enough because they have supported us throughout, and it's not new.
This is also just thanking them. Priya Saikal, this is just keep on thanking. They've been thanking for the past 1 week at the RSS.
Actually, she mentioned, believe me, they'll give you a lot of chances to thank them. But moving on, Ram Madhav, I had an interview with him last month, in the middle of elections, and he made it a point to tell me that, we have been working hard. The RSS is working exceptionally hard in these elections, which I found very strange because RSS normally, as she says, does work, help the BJP cadres win during the elections.
But doesn't make it known.
But this time they wanted to make it known. Exactly, Rishabh. They were going out of their way to say, basically the whole point of this is, they don't want to make it seem as just a Modi Sarkar victory, but RSS also wants its share, and then it wants its say.
Okay, interesting. All right, I'm shifting focus back to Delhi because that's where we are. Pratyush Dubey, he's got the next constituency for us. Who's winning, who's losing? The next surprise, Pratyush. Next one. All right, I'm hoping Pratyush is still with me. There he is.
Well, I'm very much here, Rishabh, and we're going to bring out the other constituencies also. New Delhi we've spoken about. The next constituency we're going to put up on your television screen, Chandni Chowk constituency, another big ticket contest here. Kapil Sibal, Dr. Harshvardhan and Ashutosh. And take a look why we are not calling it, because it's a very, very close contest. Once again, both these contests we've been talking about, Kapil Sibal 31%, Harshvardhan with 32%, Ashutosh with 35%. Now it's a close contest, we're not calling it yet, but it seems once again to go Aam Aadmi Party way.
Ajit Sahib, take this one out. Really close contest. Was that expected in Chandni Chowk? I mean, that's really close.
I think Chandni Chowk, what we have to understand is, if you look at the 2013 assembly results, I have it here with me. There are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 and 10 assembly segments to the Lok Sabha constituency of Chandni Chowk. And the Congress party won on only 2. One is the Chandni Chowk itself and the other is Balli Maran, because both are Muslim dominated. And Matia Mahal, the third Muslim-dominated constituency, went to Janata Dal United, which was not a partner of the BJP at that time. The rest were divided between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. The Aam Aadmi Party won 4 and the BJP won 3. Now, this obviously makes it a very close contest, but I think the close contest here would be between BJP and AAP. I just want to make one small point. I know you have finished, you are done talking about New Delhi, but I'll tell you one thing. This whole thing about that the people of Delhi was saying that Kejriwal for chief, allow me to complete, sir,
go ahead.
that Kejriwal for chief minister and Modi for prime minister, let me tell you, there are 12 reserved assembly constituencies in Delhi. Of the 12, Aam Aadmi Party won 8. So obviously, in the depressed classes, in the economically poor and the lower classes, the Aam Aadmi Party showed that it had made deep inroads. In the New Delhi constituency, there are 2 reserved constituencies of Karol Bagh and Patel Nagar, and both of them went to the Aam Aadmi Party by a decent margin. So let us not just say that, these are middle class fantasies.
All right.
That suggest...
Mr. Sai, just hold on. I want to go across on the ground now. Supriya is there. She's got a lot of people with her. Before I go to Shahid Siddiqui and to Nupur as well as to Ms. Sai. Shahid Siddiqui, I'm just coming to you, Shahid Bhai. I'm about 30 seconds. Supriya is there on the ground with people. Supriya, let's get us some voices from the ground. Let's open this up.
Okay.
Well, certainly, yes, Rishabh. Let's ask the people. आपको क्या लगता है चांदनी चौक से इस बारी कांग्रेस जीतेगी या नहीं? इस बारी बीजेपी और आम आदमी पार्टी में टक्कर है.
नाम डिपेंड करता है वो वोटिंग के ऊपर, किस तरीके की वोटिंग हुई है. जो जनरेशन है, न्यू जनरेशन है, उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है।
आपको क्या लगता है कि कांग्रेस या फिर आम आदमी पार्टी या बीजेपी?
मैं सोचता हूँ कि लोग एजुकेटेड हो चुके हैं तो अच्छा ही निर्णय लेंगे, कोई बढ़िया सा।
निर्णय तो ले चुके हैं, तो क्या बीजेपी का चांस है, आपका चांस है?
मैडम हमारी तरफ से तो कांग्रेस ही अच्छा काम कर रही थी, कुछ उनके ऊपर ऑब्जेक्शन लगे, पर ये मेरे हिसाब से तो कांग्रेस आनी चाहिए।
आपको क्या लगता है?
हमारी तरफ से तो जनता जीतेगी, मोदी। हाँ जी, मोदी की है लहर सिस्टम।
चांदनी चौक से हमेशा जो है वो एक तरह से कांग्रेस का ज्यादा रहा है पिछले कुछ दिनों में, पर क्या इस बारी आपको लगता है कि आम आदमी पार्टी भी एक रोल प्ले करेगी? आशुतोष,
आम आदमी पार्टी, आम आदमी पार्टी।
आपको क्या लगता है?
आम आदमी पार्टी।
आप क्या कहते हैं?
आम आदमी पार्टी।
Well, Rishabh, it's all Aam Aadmi Party. Though people are saying that Congress did some work also, but certainly the more voices are saying Aam Aadmi Party. And certainly, when it comes to BJP, it's not the local candidate who matters. Rather, it is the Modi factor which matters.
Interesting. Exactly. That's. I mean, you got a microcosm.
The Modi factor is there.
Supriya, you pretty much got a microcosm of this entire election process, Supriya. In those five quick questions you've taken from the people on the ground over there. Supriya, I mean, that's quite interesting. So, a couple of people say Narendra Modi will win, not the contestant from Chandni Chowk. A couple of people say Aam Aadmi Party, one stalwart warrior for the Congress, is still hanging on and hoping on to there. But it's a close contest, Shahid Siddiqui. It's a close contest in Chandni Chowk. Closer, perhaps, than one would have expected for Kapil Sibal. He's not done too bad. 31% is what we're predicting in this poll. And we're not calling a winner, Shahid Bhai. We're not calling a winner in this because it's so close.
I won't like to stick my neck out in Delhi because Delhi is very much divided at the moment. But it seems that Congress is losing out on most of the seats because Congress vote has been taken away, especially the minority vote has been largely taken away by Aam Aadmi Party. Point one. The point two, agreeing with Ajit Sahi, I would like to point out that let's not believe that all the reserve constituencies are basically backward and Dalit constituencies. A constituency is a reserve constituency, but there Dalits may be hardly 20% of the voters. 80% of the voters may come from other caste groups and communities. So it does not mean that the backward, if it's a reserve constituency, it is the backward and the Dalits who are voting for a particular candidate. Okay. Yes, I agree with him, and I have been saying that it is just not the middle class. It is mainly the marginalized groups which voted for Aam Aadmi Party in the assembly election. Muslims largely did not. They voted for Congress. But this time Muslims also have moved away.
Mr. Siddiqui, I want to get into this.
Party, but they have lost the middle class and they have lost the trading class.
Nupur, Dr. Harshvardhan, he sat out of the government in Delhi after emerging as the single largest party, and then decided to contest the elections from Chandni Chowk, which he called his old home. He felt is like coming back home. But the bottom line is Ashutosh has done a better campaign than many people already expected.
See, as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, the candidates were actually announced much earlier than ours were, one. And two, that even in Delhi elections, what they did in 8 months, we had to do in 20 days. You can't actually just sort of, just lose sight of this fact.
So are you accepting them?
Having said...
Are you accepting then that you are at, you're finding it very difficult in Chandni
No,
Chowk?
no, let me complete. I'm not even talking about Chandni Chowk. I'm talking about the totality. Having said that, let's come back to Delhi. You cannot also lose sight of the fact that we were the majority party, not Aam Aadmi Party. Having said, again, I'd like to please allow me to complete. The fact is that the disillusionment of Dr. Harshvardhan not forming the government is far less than the Aam Aadmi Party forming government for 49 days, not doing anything, and then actually running away.
Okay, take that.
That's
Priya,
a fact.
before I come to you, take that. Udai, take that. Answer that.
No, which
no, Priya, just hang on. Udai, answer that. Answer
well, I think in Chandni Chowk constituency, it's true that Ashish had an edge in terms of coming a little earlier. Ashutosh. But then the fact remains that he actually did the campaign very effectively, one, and he was able to, within that short time, despite being an outsider, convince the Muslim voters convincingly, and even amongst the Hindu voters, he was...
1 second. Okay, quickly. Priya, make a point, then I'll go back to Nupur. Priya, make a point.
No, my point is also the fall of the giant, like, Kapil Sibal, Ajay Makhan. This is, we all thought Ajay Makhan at least had a grip on the seat, which Ashish Khaitan seems to have wrested away from him. Similarly, Kapil Sibal, he had a whole lot of and Kapil is the face of the unpopular face
I'm coming back. I'm sorry. For us to examine where we're predicting winners. Take it away.
Well, Rishabh, there are only two more constituencies. I'll go through them very quickly, starting with West Delhi coming up on your television screen. Look at the contest. Mahbub Mishra of the Congress, Parvesh Sahib Singh Verma is the winner of the BJP. 63.45% vote he's polled. Jarnail Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party also losing out. But the last one now coming up on your television screen is South Delhi, Rishabh. Another close contest here. But Ramesh Kumar of the Congress losing out. Ramesh Biduri of the BJP losing out. And it's Colonel Devinder Sherawat of the Aam Aadmi Party who is the clear winner here. And look at the difference in their margins, 38.64, 42.25.
Okay, Mr. Sai, Jarnail Singh was your choice as the candidate. Was that the smart move, sir?
It was a smart move because it was also a political move and a politics of
But
symbol.
what were his credentials, sir, as to contest this election?
Number one, he was a journalist, and many people thought he was just a photojournalist.
Let's not even get into credentials.
Okay.
Every party has politicians, people. What is Meesa Yadav's credentials?
Okay.
That she's
All
Lalu
right.
Yadav's daughter.
Okay,
What is Kiran Kher's credentials?
But shoe
that she's an actress.
thrower Subre K, is that the credential?
Well, that's one imagery that you have in mind, little realizing that half the people know that he was just a photojournalist. I spoke to him at length one day on this, and he said, look, I've been a journalist, may not be of Times of India.
Would he have gotten the thing had he not shown the shoes, sir? Would he have gotten the seat?
No, he would not have. Nobody would have known him.
I mean, that's
okay. All right.
But that's a question that can be asked of anybody.
Okay,
yes.
but okay. Devinder Shekhawat doing really well according to this poll. Was that a safe assessment? That a better bet, a better decision, sir?
Well, they saw that he represents the community, majorly called Jat, in that constituency, and followed by the fact that the Purvanchali vote in that constituency was equally important. And that's how these two got combined.
Okay.
Community, majorly called Jat, in that constituency, and followed by the fact that the Purvanchali vote in that constituency was equally important. And that's how these two got combined.
Okay, Priya, before I go to Nupur, expected lines, a couple of seats?
I'm
Parvesh Verma taking it?
Parvesh Verma, yes, I would say expected. South Delhi, I'm a little confused about. I would in fact give it to, I can see Nupur smile already. I would say South Delhi to BJP.
Okay, all right. So Nupur, so you got a vote of credit there from Priya, but
no, I actually tend to agree with her because our internal report says that South Delhi is with us. You can see in the from the Vidhan Sabha election.
Ajit Sai, break down these two seats for us, please.
Well, South Delhi, it was mostly with the BJP which won. It won 7 segments straight away, whereas Aam Aadmi Party won only 2 segments. No, it won 8 actually. Aam Aadmi Party won 3 segments, assembly segments in 2013, and the BJP won 7 segments. So, if you look at the map, that's a very interesting thing. If you look at the map of Delhi, when the Delhi constituency was, the Delhi assembly elections, if you color code the map, you will find that the BJP was winning in all the outer circle.
Yes.
And the Aam Aadmi Party was winning in all the internal core. That is how it played out in December Assembly 3. So South Delhi has a lot of constituencies like Bijwasan, Palam, Mehroli, Chhatarpur, Tughlakabad, Badarpur, where the BJP is very, very strong. So they are likely to win. In West Delhi also the BJP holds an edge. Also because Mahbub Mishra has double incumbency, anti-incumbency. He is the outgoing member of parliament and as well as there is an incumbency against the Congress government and Congress party. So I think the BJP holds an edge in both places. Just allow me to complete. I am not so sure about the Aam Aadmi Party losing by a big margin in West Delhi. I think it will be a very close contest in West Delhi because even in the BJP strongholds of Harinagar, Tilaknagar, it was Aam Aadmi Party. Even the Madipur, which was a reserved scheduled caste constituency, the Aam Aadmi Party had a better hold. So I think it will be touch and go for the BJP in West Delhi. But in South Delhi, they should have a better margin.
If I'm not wrong, the South Delhi candidate from Aam Aadmi Party, Mr. Shekhawat, I think he also lost an election in the Vidhan Sabha polls. If I'm not wrong, I mean, you may want to correct me. He lost because I remember him losing. So, yeah, like he said, South Delhi is with us. We're very confident. And I'm actually also confident of the margin in West Delhi because we know how the election went and we know that it's actually, our candidate managed a very good election.
Okay, interesting. Priya, your final take on all 7 seats of Delhi. The Congress 0, a split between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP, whether you do it 5-2 or 4-3 or 6-1, that seems to be in line with expectations.
Absolutely. I mean, the commentary is really on the Congress. Delhi being closest to the seat of governance, I think they also got a lot of the anti-incumbency of the centre focused directly on Delhi. That's the big, takeaway, big lesson for the Congress losing Delhi, because it's never really been, it's never been wiped out so categorically Delhi. That's going to be a big message for them and a big stop.
Congress,
yeah.
the final point, lost all 7 seats.
When did it do that?
98, they lost. No, not 98. I think Congress has lost all 7 seats.
So since the formation of Delhi, they've lost the month. Okay, I just one last point.
Earlier also.
Go ahead, Mr. Sai. Then I want to do one last point before I leave Delhi. Sai, Mr. Sai, go ahead. Okay, okay, Shahid Bhai, I'm coming straight to you. We're coming straight to you, Mr. Sai. You want to make a point? Go ahead.
No, I don't.
Congress in the past.
No, I think Mr. Sahai wants to make a point. Go ahead, sir.
No, I personally felt that, all these exit polls are overlooking the fact that we are expecting that at least 4 constituencies should go to AAP. And those who are predicting in terms of a very polarized politics that majority is going with BJP, they tend to forget the fact that within the majority there are sections and sections. For example, in Northeast, we have seen very closely that apart from the Muslims going majorly for Professor Anand Kumar, there were Gujars, there were Tyagis, etc., and they were working very closely. The women's section who voted for him, but the exit poll shows that he is down the drain.
Okay,
all right. You haven't covered one constituency, by the way.
Yeah, Rakhi Birla's. Northwest. There it is on your screen. Udit Raj taking it from Rakhi Birla. Quickly, Shahid Siddiqui, you had a point to make. Take it on all 7 seats in toto.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is that Delhi has changed dramatically in last 2-3 decades. Delhi is a microcosm of India, and you have pockets of Purvanchalis, the Biharis, the Pahadis, the Gujars, Jats, and then the white collar middle class in New Delhi and South Delhi and parts of Delhi, and then the trading class of Delhi. They don't behave in a uniform way, they behave differently.
All right.
But what I feel now is, I may prove to be wrong tomorrow, but I'm sticking my neck out. I believe that most of the
Mr. Siddiqui, hold your thought. I've got about 2 minutes and I want to examine one last point before I leave Delhi.
The contest is with the Aam Aadmi Party, not with the Congress.
Okay, I want to examine one last point for the man who did not contest Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal. Priya, was it worth it? The hype and the hoopla surrounding the big battle, the decision to go to Varanasi, did it offset, give the Aam Aadmi Party enough of a national pitch and a profile, at least within the popular imagination, than the decision to quit Delhi and not contest after quitting as Chief Minister, not even contesting a seat from Delhi?
I think it was a short-term rather than a long-term gain for Arvind Kejriwal. Yes, he got the national imagination, which he may not have if he was contesting from Delhi. But apart from that, there is a lot of resentment amongst his own cadre also, that the whole campaign was concentrated only in Varanasi. People in the street, I went to Khidki village, which is, I think I would say this is where Arvind Kejriwal's best bastion. Over there also people were saying, bhag gaya, he ran away. So he became to be known as someone who ran away rather than someone who stays and fights.
That's not the BJP, that's us. That's the report we're getting from the ground. Mrs. Hai, please answer that.
No, it was a symbolic fight, and I think the kind of visibility the party got and the leader of the party, Arvind Kejriwal, got out of this election will leave a very strong mark on the style.
The visibility was worth it.
Yes.
Nupur, then Mrs. Sai.
See, I think the Aam Aadmi Party has actually just, the entire agenda or the motive is just so misplaced. Like he said, visibility. What are they fighting for? Visibility, or actually bringing about a change and helping people? Because politics, I would say politics is actually an opportunity to serve the people. For example, you went to Gujarat in 2 days, you just wanted the media to be there. You went to Varanasi to contest because you know that Modi ji is actually a very important person for the media. The media follows him.
Mr. Sai,
please allow me to complete. Having said that, you did not find anything wrong with the UP administration, did not even bother to raise a question against the Sapa Sarkar in Uttar Pradesh. So this is, you spread yourself too thin. Your vision and mission is a little, I don't know.
That's your assessment. That's your assessment of the Aam Aadmi Party.
I don't want to blame for the Aam Aadmi Party, but I don't think that Arvind Kejriwal has needed Narendra Modi to find the media in the last 3 years. Arvind Kejriwal has been astounding. There have been media studies that have found that in 2013, he got more media attention than Narendra Modi.
Well, especially
let me complete, madam. No, not thanks to Anna Hazare. There was no Anna Hazare in 2013. There was no Anna Hazare in 2013.
Okay, finish your point. I will take a break.
The point is, unfortunately, most commentary in today's India is a big echo chamber. One person says, oh, he ran away and everybody's upset with him, and everybody starts saying the same thing. There are no divergence of opinions.
But the win we came, it was a balancing act between trying to win that seat for certain in Delhi perhaps, and of course get the profile, national profile which they wanted. Many people would say Narendra Modi went to Varanasi to create a national profile as well and step out from Gujarat. We'll leave it there. It's slipping into a very short break. More developments coming on the other side. Stay tuned to NewsX. We're coming back in 2 minutes.